gather around the table once again for another session of Dungeons and Drakfus? Okay, this needs a little bit of explanation. So, happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday afternoon. Yeah, fun fact, I actually have been trying to get into this raid to be able to record it for a couple of days now, and it's never really worked out, so I'd like to introduce everybody to my actual main, Drak. This is my... In fact, you know what? Just because I love you guys so much. Yeah, there you go. He's waving. Normally I'd do this on Drakfu, but like I said, I've been waiting for the last couple of days for that server to be able to do it, and unfortunately I couldn't. So, welcome to another episode of Dungeons and Drakfus this week where we try and wrap up the remaining raids in Wrath of the Lich King content. And the first one that I want to start with, wasn't necessarily a release, it actually evolved as the expansion went on, and one of the reasons that I've had such a problem getting into this is because it was built more towards the PvPers. And so let's go ahead and step into, well, actually, let me explain this first. So when Wrath of the Lich King first came out, and we got the map, we actually also got an awesome new feature being added. This was around the time when people were screaming, there isn't enough world PvP, you know, the thing that never ended. So at that point, Blizzard's answer in Wrath of the Lich King was, okay, well, how about we put an entire zone and make that PvP oriented? So you can't fly there. You can't, you're immediately flagged for PvP if you do anything in there. And we'll also give additional rewards. So this was Lake Wintergrasp. One of the most popular aspects of World of Warcraft, because it's like, holy crap, PvPers have something to do. Lake Wintergrasp was basically a battleground outside of battlegrounds. Every hour a battle would occur, or rather every 2 hours, because then one side would control it. So every 2 hours a battle for Lake Wintergrasp would happen that played out like a battleground, and then for the next hour, either Alliance or Horde, whomever won the battle to siege the Wintergrasp fortress, would be able to get access to not only additional crafting nodes and things like that, for especially like rare ones for their crafting for Wrath of the Lich King, for their raiding, for their PvP or whatever. They also got access to this raid, the Vault of Archavon. Now that might not seem like too much, because like, oh, well, that doesn't sound like you would get a whole lot from it. But as an added feature, Blizzard actually added to this dungeon as the expansion went on. So we're actually going to do this in order, like from their patch releases. So at the very beginning, there was only one boss in here, and that was Archavon the Stonewatcher. Now, this is usually the time when I go into the lore for the dungeon, and there really isn't any. Aside from Wintergrasp Fortress holds many rewards that you can claim, but as far as these bosses are concerned, they're just the watchers of the fortress. They are the protectors of it. And there really isn't anything else aside from that. So you can see there's a lot of elementals in here. Now, one of the reasons I'm actually coming in here on Drak, like I said, I've been trying to get in here for the last couple of days. And the server that Drakfu is on, it's always Alliance control when I try to record. So I finally just said, you know what? I'm going to try on one of my Alliance characters and see if I can get in. And here we are. So you guys get to see my level 110 druid at least once this time around. I promise next time I will bring Drakfu. There is at least one more PvP-based instance that's kind of like this, so I don't know, maybe you'll see Drak again, but I'm hoping not. So we're going to start things off with the one that launched with Wrath of the Lich King, Archavon the Stonewatcher. Again, he's just a guardian of the fortress. There really isn't any lore about him, and frankly, you guys are seeing the damage that I'm doing to these guys. The boss doesn't really stand a chance. But this guy was the base release for Vault of Archavon. Let's go ahead and just take him out. There we go. Now, the cool part about this boss is that it was motivating not just to PvPers in particular, but for PvEers as well. Because when you would loot these guys, you would also get chances at tier gear as well as PvP gear. So you can see that there's already a tier 7 piece right here for Dreamwalker. So that would be for a druid. Nice. And then also we have some gladiator gear for PvPers. Now, Archavon was the first guy. And I need to make sure that I'm going to the right one. Thankfully, this won't take too long to actually try and find it. So, for the longest time, you had Archavon, and that was it until patch 3.1 hit. And there, with the Secrets of Ulduar, came a new boss to the Vault of Archavon. Obviously, also with a new raid tier. So, not only could you get additional gladiator gear for the new tier, but you also had a chance to get tier 8 gear from Emelon, the Storm Watcher. And he was a little bit more complex to kind of fit with the whole Ulduar theme. But he will not be too hard for us to take on, because here is Emelon, the Storm Watcher. As you can see, he's more of an Iron Rune giant. So we're just going to go ahead and nuke him. Boom! There goes Emelon, the Storm Watcher. And again, I apologize. There really just isn't any lore here. This is more of a PvP-based instance, but I still wanted to showcase it because raiders were still doing it. So here's Furious Gladiators. This is the tier 8 item, so this would be Priest, I believe. Yeah, Sanctification, isn't it? So, yes, that would be for a Priest. And then we also have some Furious Gladiator stuff. Now, the next one came... it actually came in 3.2. So Call of the Crusade not only brought with it the Argent Tournament and the new 5-man and the new raid, but it also brought the next boss to the Vault of Archavon. And as you can see, this was kind of the plan for Blizzard, is like every time they release new patch content, there was an additional reason for you to come back to the Vault. And that reason to come back to the Vault would be a new boss that would probably drop current day tier gear, or he would also drop PvP gear for the PvPers. And with 3.2 came Corellon, the Flame Watcher. So as you can see, he's just kind of a Vulcan clone. So we'll just go ahead and take him out. There you go, Corellon, the Flame Watcher. And we got Relentless Gladiator and Khadgar. So this would have been a mage's outfit. So yay. And the final one, now not every patch got one, because we technically did get a patch 3.4, but 3.3, Fall of the Lich King, warranted another boss release, and the final boss release, or boss addition to the Vault of Archavon, which was Toravon, the Ice Watcher, I think is what he was called, Frost or Ice Watcher. We're on our way to him right now. Ice Watcher is what he was. We're just going to quickly make our way over. Like I said, this is just going to be a little bonus episode, because there really isn't any lore to cover. But as you can see, he's more of like a son of oh dear. And we'll take out Toravon, the Ice Watcher. And this was the last guy. So after Fall of the Lich King, there were no other additions, even though technically there was a patch 3.4. And we will cover that content in another video this week. There down goes Toravon. Let's go ahead and see what we got. Lasher, so another Druid piece. This would be Druid tier 10. And even an additional Shaman piece. And I think this one was random. Sometimes it would give you more tier gear. Sometimes it would give you more Gladiator gear. And so you actually got Shaman and you got Druid for that. But we're not going to worry about those. So that's actually going to go ahead and do it for this video. I know it's a little short, but I did want to cover this instance because I know a lot of dedicated PvPers love the idea of it, and I do too. I actually did like the idea when I was around, but that's going to go ahead and do it for us. So when we come back tomorrow, we're not going to finish the expansion, but we're also going to cover a dungeon that's been, well, a raid that's been long overdue. And because of anniversary content, it got redone for Wrath of the Lich King. We'll see you guys tomorrow.